We are in beautiful Venice for the opening weekend of the Venice Architecture Biennale 2023. This channel has recently reached 1,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you. This video will be exploring the Pavilions at Giardini, and Arsenale will be covered in another video. A quick explanation about the event for those who are not familiar. Venice Architecture Biennale takes place every 2 years, alternating with the Art Biennale, and runs from May until November. It consists out of the central exhibition, led by a different curator each year. The national pavilions, organised by the different participating countries, and some independently organised exhibitions as collateral events. Carnival, a programme of public happenings, was introduced for this Biennale. This year's 18th International Architecture Biennale feels particularly exciting, as it established itself as a catalyst for change and set a significant new milestone when the curatorial platform was offered to the Ghanaian Scottish architect, academic and author Leslie Luko. With this year's Biennale theme, The Laboratory of the Future, she brings Africa into the spotlight and aims to re-evaluate the role of architects of the future by referring to them as practitioners, inspiring participants to become problem solvers for today's complex issues, and focus on principles such as decolonization, decarbonization, and offer the platform to marginalized voices, including minorities, smaller practices, and younger generations. There has been a big focus on securing a more environmentally friendly future for the Biennale, with participants reusing some of last year's materials, exchanging models and artifacts for films, screens, projections and drawings for their installations.
Is coming a long way. The sort of incredible progress that has been made, you think of it in some sense in that way. But it's sort of like the way in which Tom sort of kept going back to his text. Is that
talking? And I was like, who is this guy? Because I just want to continue to listen to him. Like everything he was saying just seemed so profound, and he said it with such like authority.
It was an incredible experience. I don't think I'd ever been around. I've been at film conferences where
The Swiss Pavilion's showcase is titled Neighbours. For this, it removed the wall between the Swiss and its neighbouring Venezuelan pavilion and highlighted the connection between Bruno Giacometti, the architect of the Swiss pavilion, and Carlos Scarpa, the architect of the Venezuelan pavilion, who both had to design their structures around protected trees and were only separated by a wall. The carpet shows the combined floor plan of both pavilions. With this, the curator wanted to encourage greater cooperation between the participating countries at the Biennale, and also hosted a roundtable discussion inviting several national pavilion neighbours, which you'll be able to follow in a separate video.
We have this privilege and this pleasure to be with you in the opening days of the Swiss Pavilion. Neighbours, it's called. Very warm welcome and thanks for coming.
Heading over to the Venezuelan pavilion, which highlights the Venezuelan architect Carlos Raúl Villanueva's design principles, which aims to inspire to create architecture that contributes to building better societies by considering the landscapes, cultural values, and human behaviours within the designs. The Danish pavilion created this installation called Coastal Imaginaries that addresses climate change and the rising sea levels with nature-based design solutions. The Japanese pavilion's installation celebrates the pavilion itself and emphasizes that architecture is more than just a building, but a place with memories and stories attached. The British Pavilion's installation, Dancing Before the Moon, promotes the concept of multicultural everyday rituals and traditions to connect people and shape architecture and spaces in new ways. The German pavilion is called Open for Maintenance and uses discarded and leftover materials from last year's Biennale. It hosts workshops aligned with the themes around sustainable architecture, circular economy, preservation and repair. The Canadian Pavilion's installation, Not for Sale, sheds light on the housing crisis in Canada and presents the challenges and potential solutions around this topic. The Korean Pavilion examines the long-term impact of the environmental crisis and proposes future scenarios up to 2086. The French Pavilion has been transformed into an experimental performance space, with a program of events set to take place during the course of the Biennale. The Uruguay Pavilion showcases future scenarios of forestry law. The Australian Pavilion, titled Unsettling Queenstown, explores the impact of colonialism and resource extraction by examining various Queenstowns across the former British Empire. The Cloud to Ground exhibition at Israel's Pavilion explores the architectural and geopolitical significance of digital data materialization, represented by these abstract models. The pavilion itself was sealed and made inaccessible. With its exhibition titled Everlasting Plastics, the US Pavilion reframed plastic as a valuable resource and showcased works that reduce its impact on our planet. The Nordic Pavilion is a collaboration between Finland, Norway and Sweden and promotes indigenous semi-architecture and design with its installation. Hungarian Pavilion focuses on the new Museum of Ethnography in Budapest, designed by Marcel Ferenc. With its Foodscapes installation, the Spanish Pavilion explored the topics of food, such as nourishment, distribution and consumption chains, as well as sustainability and future planning.
Hongos micorrízicos redistribuyen nutrientes y microbiomas a través de sus redes, llevándolos de plantas sanas a plantas insanas. Micelio común.
The Belgian Pavilion highlights our planet's finite resources and encourages us to rethink architecture with proposed alternative solutions, for example with living materials like cultivated soil and mycelium. The Dutch Pavilion explores complex structures of our societies that need to be rethought in order to move towards a more sustainable and regenerative future.
Economy actually is something that can be reviewed are ways to change the appearance of objects to make it more simple. And actually, literally, to start doing it to design. It's actually a way
The Brazilian pavilion is called Terra. It examines the role of earth whilst showcasing projects rooted in indigenous and Afro-Brazilian knowledge, and addresses topics of decolonization, national identity, heritage and modernism. The Polish pavilion features 4 life-size house frames that investigate the intersection between data and real life. The Romanian pavilion showcases past innovations to offer inspiration for future innovation. The Egyptian pavilion focuses on the ancient Nile River and presents case studies exploring topics such as climate change, water resources, and sustainable developments on the river. The Greek pavilion presents Bodies of Water, an exploration of dams and reservoirs in the country to symbolize collective progress in life. The Ukraine introduced 2 pavilions in different locations for this year's Biennale that represent protective structures. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to get notified when I post the Arsenale location video. I will see you there.